Hey fellow vinyl friends, Diana here. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a while. I have been on vacation the last 2 weeks. First we headed to France and then we headed a few days to London, and in this video I just want to show some digging I did in South France, and we had a wonderful time there. It's located really close to the Spanish border, and so the mentality and architecture is really influenced by Spain and Catalonia, which is really interesting. The area there is beautiful. We did a lot of trail running and hiking, and we had a beautiful Airbnb situated directly at the beach in a small town, which was really awesome. And I will include some impressions of the vacation at the end of the video if you're interested in that. And on the last day of our stay, which was my husband's birthday, we did some digging in the greater town nearby, where the airport was located, Perpignan, and where we were supposed to fly back in the evening. And so we just went there and did some digging, which is kind of a tradition to do on my husband's birthday. And I just wanted to show my finds there and the record stores. So yeah, Perpignan is a really small city, but really lovely though. It has one real record store and a store where you can get secondhand books, DVDs and vinyl. And we headed there first. The store was called Book In, and I will include some impressions of the store here. We found there was Diga by the Diga Rhythm Band, released in 1976 over United Artists. This is the French first press, and Diga is an Indian-influenced folk world band, I would say. Really percussion heavy with marimbas and wipes and congas and bongos, djembe, tabla, talking drum, a lot of tablas, folk drums and so on. But yeah, the covers stood out, and what was interesting is that Jerry Garcia is playing guitar on 2 tracks, and therefore we just picked it up, and this is what it sounds like. And afterwards we visited the record store, and this was pretty funny because we headed there just an hour too early before the store was supposed to open, and we saw a guy standing there on turntables, and my husband was like, "Okay, do you think it's open yet?" And the guy just opened the door and said in German, "Yeah, we're open, you can come in," because Marcus, the record shop owner, is originally from Cologne and living there for I think 6 years now, and has this record store here called Cougouyou Music. And the record store is pretty small, but has an awesome selection of used and new records, and I will include some impressions of the store here. found a lot of great records there and had a nice talk with Marcus, who's really cool. And the first record we found there was Cougouyou, Jazz Afro-Occitan. I don't know how to pronounce this, but it's here. And this record was originally released in 1975. This is the 2017 Diggers Digest French Attack to Repress, and Cougouyou is a spiritual jazz band. You can hear it in the back, and I will include some needle drops. And one of the guys, Michel Marais, was opening a jazz club in Montpellier and playing with Don Cherry and Mel Waldron and Asher Chep, and this influenced him a lot. And Cougouyou means "how are you" in Occitan language, Aveyron, where he was born. And yeah, this is just beautiful. It's really spiritual, sometimes a little bit free and improvised, including traditional elements and his Catalan roots there, which is really interesting and makes an intriguing and unique mix. And yeah, this was just a great discovery, and if you're into spiritual jazz, I can just highly recommend it. Cougouyou, Jazz Afro-Occitan. And it includes also some extensive liner notes in French and in English. And here you can see Michel Marais with other musicians. And another great record we found there was the 5-Day Week Straw People, released originally in 1969. This is the 2000 Get Back repress, which was sealed there, so we just had to get it. And yeah, I don't think I have to say that much about it. It's just awesome British psychedelia, which I can highly recommend. And the record which I was really happy to find there was Catherine Ribeiro and Alps Numero 2, released in 1970 over Disc Festival, and this is the first album I think they made under this moniker. Beforehand they made one record called Catherine Ribeiro and Deby, and afterwards they released Andrew and Pi. And I have talked about these 3 records before and I love them, and this one is another fantastic outlet by them as well. I have the feeling that this one is a little bit more experimental and dark. Yeah, you have at the first side you have some really interesting electronic works, and the second song on the second side is really dark and she is wailing and totally losing her mind, which is kind of making me uncomfortable and is really eerie but really gripping as well. And yeah, another great album by her and the band. And another cool find, the Jean Coutret Quartet Africa Brass, released in 1961. This is the French first press. Yeah, I don't think I have to say anything about this. Just the fantastic Jean Coltrane quartet with McCoy Tyner, Evan Jones and Jimmy Garrison, and I'm pretty sure I can't include some needle drops in this because it's copyright restricted, but I am sure you all know it, and yeah, fantastic record. This was a fun one. Browsing through the jazz selection, this album showed up. Called The Dogmatics, The Sacrifice for the Music Became Our Lifestyle. And I originally thought, okay, this is just sorted wrongly because this can't be jazz. I mean, it looks like a metal record, just in the wrong section. And with a look on the back, there was standing Chris Abrahams on piano and Kai Fagashinsky on clarinet. And this is indeed some avant-garde experimental jazz. Which I thought was so funny because the cover just does not look like jazz at all, and so we just had to pick it up. And this was released in 2012 over Monotype Records, a Polish label. Chris Abrams and Kai Fagashinsky are from Germany and recorded the album there. Yeah, this is really minimalist, experimental avant-garde jazz, I would say, with some electronic sounds and then just piano and clarinet. And it's really quiet and eerie record, fitting the cover, but yeah, really fun pickup. And the next one is Dave Bixby Ode to Quetzalcoatl. This was originally released in 1969. I think it was a self-release. This is the 2009 Gerson reissue. You can see him. This comes with extensive liner notes, which I always love about the Gerson label, that they just take the time to find out that much about the records. This is just terrific, moody and melancholic acid folk, singer-songwriter stuff. Dave Bixby was playing in bands really young, had an extensive year of LSD use, and afterwards he hit rock bottom and he felt empty and broken and was just looking for some orientation and a guideline. And he had an encounter with God and had kind of an epiphany and went on to make music and wanted to just verbalize his encounter there. And the album's called Ode to Quetzalcoatl because he thinks that the Aztec deity is an an entity like Christ, and yeah, I have to hear a lot more to figure out the lyrics, but this is just amazing acid folk, creating a really haunting and dark atmosphere with the lots of echoes on the acoustic guitars, and he has a great feel for harmonies, and the songs just get stuck in your ear. He reminds me kind of Dino Valenti at some times, and yeah, I really fell in love with this album, and yeah, I'm pretty happy to have this. And apparently Dave Bixby is now doing historic reenactments, which is quite funny, I think. And yeah, you can never go wrong with some Gerson releases, so I'm really happy that they made this.
No more smile. I wear on my face. I've gone the last mile, and I just lost the race.
And another oddball, Steve Miller, The Story So Far, and Low Coxhill, Oh Really? Released in 1974. I think this is on Caroline Virgin Records. I think this is the second album they made together. Steve Miller, the pianist, is playing on side one. It's a mixture between a little bit more impro jazz and kind of bordering on the cheesy line, but really interesting nevertheless. And Low Coxhill is playing soprano sax, double and echoed flexotones, and recorder echoes on side B. And he is joined here by Steve Miller piano, and on one track he's joined by Rod Wyatt on percussion vocals and Kevin Ayers on guitar, which was really interesting. And this is also somewhere between experimental ambient jazz and cheesy stuff, but yeah, the mixture is really interesting and makes this an interesting record, which I will include some needle drops so you can see what I mean. And Marcos, the record shop owner, is also running a label, and they have a division called Cougouyou Music, just as a record store. And he's also part of the duo Klangbad, which is doing awesome experimental drone ambient stuff, I would say. And he was so nice to give us one of his singles they released over Cougouyou. They released a bunch of singles, and this is number 8, and they are portraying local artists from South France. But they also had one Brigitte Fontaine song, the one on Comme à la Radio, the last one, where she is singing about a train station officer in a nearby town, and I think this is just a lovely idea. And this is Klangbad with Monserrate and the Le Case Gut dub remix on the B-side of the single. And this track was recorded in Bogota in 2014 with the Meridian Brothers. Elvis Alvarez on cello, Damien Pons on drums, and Cesar Quevedo on bass. And it's a collective composition of Klangbad, which is Marcos Detmer and Timo Räuber. And Juanita Anes Rothman and Valentina Anes Rothman are on doing some vocals on here. And the B-side is the dub remix from Sylvain Garcia, aka Le K. And this is a really beautiful ethereal ambient track, I would say. I will include some needle drops so you can hear it, and I will definitely check out the other singers as well and everything Klangbad does, because now I'm really intrigued to find this out. So this were our finds there. Perpignan is just a beautiful city, and we will definitely go back there. The vacation there was just beautiful. We stayed at a small village called Bagnols-sur-Mer, and I will include some impressions afterwards. So if you're not interested in this, thank you for watching and see you soon. And if you're interested in some vacation impressions, just keep watching. Yeah, the little village is just beautiful. It's situated directly at the coast, and there are a lot of coastal paths, and you can hike into the Pyrenees and to the Spanish border, which is really cool. And yeah, the only downside was that our flight, which was supposed to go in the evening, was suddenly cancelled, and since we had already booked our flights to London, we had to get back as soon as possible, because the next available flight they could offer us was 7 days later, which was just impossible. And therefore we had to do a 24-hour bus ride back to Germany, which was pretty exhausting, and yeah. But otherwise the vacation was great. And in my next video I will talk about digging in London and the Art Ensemble of Chicago concert, which we saw there. And yeah, I hope you like the selection of records here. Were you familiar with any of them? Did you happen to ever visit the south of France, and how do you like it? And maybe you even went to the record store, and let me know about it. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye!